My content's for educational purposes only. Can't stress enough for you guys to do your own research. I praise my content or any errors you find in the comments. None of us have been alive long enough to know all that transpired in the past, and none of us can live long enough to know all there is to learn. And y'all ever look at your baby picture and match it with how you look now? Notice how it's still the same. Things have just matured. But overall, it's still you. Everything's still the same. Your lips, your nose, your eyes, shape of your head, shape of your fingers, all that, you know. There's a reason for that. Nobody is ever going to have the same blueprint as you. Why is that important? You should know that. You know, all of us should know that. What is so special about us? You know, what is it that only you can do, unlike anybody else? What are the things that come to you so easily, but others couldn't be paid to do? Excuse me. Gotta blow my nose again. All on camera. Pardon me. Pardon me. Had to make sure my shit was straight, you dig? But anyway, yeah, you know, the things that are uniquely yours. How much time have you put into nurturing those things? Perfecting and or mastering those things. Excuse me. That nobody can do the way you do. I know some of y'all, or a lot of y'all, like myself, have been sidetracked. You know, life tends to get in the way. Life tends to throw you off track, you know, or things within life, people within life. For whatever reason, tend to pose as obstacles. You know, that's just life happening, you know. But at the end of the day, we have to ground ourselves within our own energy, in our own authentic energy signature, because we all have one unique to us. And we have to analyze and dissect that. Find all of the the treasures within yourself. And focus and fixate on them. Develop and nurture them. You know, as it relates to the sidetracks, the obstacles, whether it be, whether it be circumstances, situations, or other people. In the case of circumstances, are you bound by these circumstances, or can you change these circumstances? If you're not, if you're not bound by the circumstances, get from underneath them. If you're able to change them, change them. If you're not able to become unbound or change them, then change the way you respond to them. Change the way you look at them. Change the way you choose to feel about them. If it's a person, do you really know what it is that you're observing? Because a lot of people that embody a lot of, anger, hostility, and violence, man, they hurting. Please understand that. It's psychological. Somebody look at you, or you might look up, catch somebody's gaze, and they throw the screw face on. I think it was Hove that pointed that out. Shout out to Hove, where he said, "Oh, you think I see you?" You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times, man, and I'm realizing this, because I can reflect on myself when I didn't even know that I was hurting. But I was hurting. And my defense mechanism of choice, anger, hostility, and violence. I didn't want nobody to see that hurt, that vulnerability. And that's what's going on with a lot of cats now, man, Because, see, regardless of how a person want to chalk it up, when you really unpack that, that anger, that hostility, that aggression and violence, or that violent nature, where did that come from? It had to come from somewhere. You wasn't born with it. So identify where it came from. And this ain't for you or I to analyze and unpack that. But it's a good skill set to have, because a lot of times it makes it easier to diffuse potentially catastrophic situations. It will enable one to sidestep a potentially, traumatic experience or circumstance, when you can really see beneath, the facade. And I say facade because it's not the real you. Or it's not the real them. How do I know that? Because I've been there. You know, I've been there. So a lot of times, as I was saying, it's more so compassion and empathy, you know, if you embody the depth, you know, to extend that to a person that you see those uh, characteristics in. Yeah, on the surface, they look like a monster that's great, chew your head off, or, they may be known as somebody that got a quick trigger finger, whatever the case. Come on, man. Again, you know, when you done been behind the wall with cats, and they, get behind that wall, man, a keen eye, somebody that knows what it is they looking at when they observing it. It's a lot of veils, it's a lot of facades, it's a lot of projective presentations that get put on by people in an attempt to mask their pain. And for real, man, it's easier to let all that shit go. But to move on, I had to touch on that because that's so prevalent nowadays. It's so prevalent, man. There's so many men and women, that's that's in a state of pain, and they're in denial about it because the defense mechanism they've been wearing that defense mechanism for so long. Again, as I've said in other videos, that they mistakenly accept it for who they actually are. Never confuse who you are with who you have become or allowed yourself to become. And this is why, I choose to continue learning, man. Because, I just was telling my daughter, today, a lot of the shit that they teaching in these schools, man, ain't the shit you gonna need, One of these days, man, even if I have to be the conduit, especially, when things finally take a turn for the better for myself, one of the ways I'll be giving back is like, I know when I was a young boy, I was, little guy, Brother Umar, who's deceased, blessed the dead, he used to have classes. And he used to come get, the young guys out the neighborhood and take them and have class and teach them things, and a lot of things of that nature are lacking or missing, because, not to knock nobody, you know what I mean, but we got enough, gangsters, we got enough killers, we got enough hustlers. I think we've largely forgotten about nation building. We got enough, the opposition is still from the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, man. Look up on YouTube the plot to destroy black boys. We got enough, opposition fixated and focused on destroying black boys. Because if you destroy them while they're a boy, they'll never become a man. Wouldn't give a fuck how many of these they get, how many women they run through, how many children they initiate being brought here to this third dimensional realm. Mentally, psychologically, emotionally, they will never become a man. The same can be said for the young women. Not all, but I mean, hey, it's enough that fit the criteria for me to be able to make that statement confidently, you know. Somewhere this shit got to stop. Because if we don't care about us, they damn sure. Who else gonna care about us? Ain't nobody gonna come fix our condition. Nobody. How many centuries, how many generations of our ancestors have made pleas, whether it be to the government or in some organized religion, for somebody to come and help us, come save us, stop the violence. Sad truth, people. If we don't do it, it won't get done. And for real, let me just put this out there while I'm at it. Everything don't need to be publicized, man. Bad enough they don't let you take the battery out of these phones no more. Why? Because they never cease to record, number one. Number two, it's a tracking device. Can't nobody live without a goddamn phone. You know? We've developed so many dependencies that they provide, and they capitalize in ways that we don't even give them credit for capitalizing. You know? So, getting back to it, man, we got enough, hoodlums. We got enough grown boys and grown girls. We got enough of that. I mean, I can't be the only one that feel this way or see it like this, man. At some point, man, we got to grow the fuck up. Here. And here. We got to grow up, man. It's just that simple. Unblock that heart chakra, man. A lot of us have blocked heart chakras. We've cut ourselves off from love. And without that, it's a lot of things that just won't happen. A lot of shit just won't happen. For those of you guys that are not familiar with the chakras, they are energy vortices. You may be familiar with vortex. If you want to use that word to better understand it, then fine. But they're basically energy centers. You have a lot of them throughout the body, but you have seven major ones. You actually have 9, but titty milk right now. They are directly linked to your emotions and your physiology. Down to, from your feet to your head, everything in between, your organ functions, etc. They go deep. They're even, related to pressure points and things of that nature. But see, the things that we aren't being taught are what we need the most right now. We need these things the most. We need to be able to understand our physiology. We need to understand our bodies and the functionalities of the inner components of our bodies. You know. Seems like all they want you to know, the government, and all its tentacles and agents, etc., all they want you to know is how to be a good employee. Get your ass up, go work my job, and try to balance your life out with the little bit of time you got left over. Come on, man. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. And I still have a job. So I ain't knocking nobody that does. But at the end of the day, man, at some point, man, we got to gravitate away from that. We have to get to a point where on a collective level, however, broad or thin that is, we have to take responsibility for our lives, man. It's the same people you give the power to feed you, the same people that have the power to starve you. Especially if you have a job that you can accumulate some funds. Don't take a lot. Use the gold mine in between your ears. I just told one of my daughters today, and I've told y'all already, man, start getting up an hour earlier. Write how much, whatever it is. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. What do you want to be worth by the time you turn 65? That shit starts now. It starts now. All you got is the now. I've talked about this, in other videos as well, but I feel the need to reiterate. The past is gone. The future you have to get to. Why would you waste time catching anxiety attacks, stressing, worrying about the past when it's already behind you and gone? And you have to wake up to get to your future. And your future is only going to be crafted based upon the actions you exhibit today. So what are you doing today to create your future? What does the future you want look like? Do you feel as though somebody outside of yourself has power to help you or to put you in the position to have the future that you see for yourself? Nobody's responsible for that but you. So getting back to it, understand, man, that when you run across opposition, especially when it's resulting from other people, that opposition only has the power you give it. Stop giving up your power. Take it back. Stop allowing people and situations to live rent free in your head. take responsibility and then control of your individual life. Whatever you want for yourself, you can have it. Two things. Well, it's a few things. Do you even know what that is? That's number one. Once you figure out and realize what that is and you commit to it, do you believe that you're capable of it? Do you believe that it's already yours? Are you able to act as if it's already yours? And lastly, are you willing to do what's necessary by putting the legwork in to bring it to fruition? If you're saying yeah to yourself as you watch this, prove it to yourself. Everything ain't for the world to see. Prove it to yourself. Another thing. Everything ain't for everybody. Everybody seems to want to ride the same bandwagon that multitudes of other people are already riding. You can never get what's not meant for you. You can never attain something beyond your scope of capabilities. And you damn sure can't miss what you never had. And you damn sure can't, get what's meant for somebody else. Because he or she is doing this or has that, or capabilities have shown that they can do this or do that, doesn't mean that you need to be doing the same thing. It's just like, think about, when you was in school as a younger cat. Everybody wasn't on the same level of reading and comprehension. You were on your own individual level, and you were able to do only what your capabilities allowed you to. Where did we forget that at? Where did we forget that at? Everybody has their own mind, yet if you take a look at the surroundings, depending on your demographic area, it seems as though there are a bunch of groups of individuals that seem to have the same mind or are operating off of the same mind. You mean to tell me all you capable of doing is getting up, packaging your drugs, and playing a corner? Is that the pinnacle of your capabilities? And or the scope of your progress in life? And I'm not knocking how nobody survive, earn, or provide. But what I'm saying is, do you look yourself in the mirror? Is that all you capable of doing? Come on, man. I look at it like this, man. I ride past so many CEOs that don't know that's who the fuck they are or that they're capable of being. If you can run your own operation, regardless of the size of it. Don't matter if all you doing is flipping 4.5. You flipping that. It's successful because you make it so. And, hey man, these are just my thoughts. I appreciate anybody that's sat this long and allowed me to vent and talk to you. But you know, I just feel like, if I got on here and just, did some entertaining shit, don't get it fucked up, because I can. But it's deeper than that, man. It's not, it ain't about, trying to be something that I'm not. But I mean, like, these are the things that I think about when I look around my environment. We more than that, man. Sis, we more than that. We more, you more than, having the music on, hey, shaking your ass. Come on. You more than that. Whether you think so or not, you more than that. Because contrary to popular belief and opinion, man, shit get old. People get old. Don't let this shit go over your head. Don't let your life pass you by. Trying to be in the in crowd. In and out of every reefer cloud. In and out every hot spot. Doing what everybody else doing. Or so you think. See, the way the way we love and or respect ourselves is shown by the way we present ourselves and the way we carry on and or carry ourselves. Your thoughts manifest into actions. So if all you doing is this, that, or the other on a minute scale or on a low vibrational scale, then that's what consumes your mind. You are what you think about all day. Everything starts with the mind. So am I to believe that we are too lazy to reprogram our minds in order to change our lives for the better of ourselves and our families? Understand where this shit's coming from, man. I told y'all, in 1990, the music industry invested millions of dollars into the private prison industrial complex, big business. Whether you die the moment after they book you in and get your name on the books, they are already paid $36,000. And that's on the low end. We're not talking about what happens after that with the so-called money. They probably never told you that that's linked to how they fund wars. Overly populated private prisons. See, the reason why I talk about a lot of shit I talk about, man, is because you know, I've always been one to look deeper than the surface. More so now than ever. You know. You know. The surface is only what they want you to see. And the longer they can keep you in a low vibrational state, you'll never ascend to the level of awareness and or consciousness to see beyond or beneath. You'll never be able to ascend to your greatness that you were born with, that's born within you, if you can't escape the programs and the traps that they have laid and set for you. It ain't about where you live, it's about how you live. It ain't about what you do, it's about how you do it. And we the most resourceful motherfuckers we the most resourceful group of people on the planet. Yet we're stuck and stagnated with things that were given to us. I'm going to give y'all an analogy, man, about the hood. See, projects are projects, scientific projects. The outcome projects what they expected. We selling drugs to our blood, calling ourselves true. Come on, man. Yeah. It ain't even about going to a different ethnic background and selling to them. You know, all the shit's doing is funding government. Hey, man, this has just been like me sharing my thoughts, man. And, you know, a lot of times, man, I see we you know, as a group, we focused on a lot of bullshit, man. We focused on so much insignificant shit and expecting the benefit. Then you have some people that benefit off of the chaotic nature we operate within. You know, it gets deep, man. But I'm pretty sure anybody that's still watching or have watched, you know, enough of this particular segment knows what I'm getting at, man. You know. Where's the pride? The good pride. Where's the pride in how you present yourself? You know. Come on, man. Situations, man. Situations that happened in the past. If some of these situations would have happened right now today, if we just had the uniformity, we had an ounce of the uniformity, synchronicity, togetherness, camaraderie, brother and sisterhood that our parents had, or some of us, our parents had. You know how we could fuck the game up right now? We could change a lot of shit, man. But I guess I'm just wishful thinking. Or am I? I'm gonna let it go from here, man. As always, it's been my pleasure to bring to y'all just my thoughts. You know, hopefully enough people resonate with it, and I struck enough nerves for those that sat through it and watched it to inspire the type of thought that initiates change. Because ain't nobody going to do shit for us if it don't be us. Nobody's going to change the conditions of our neighborhoods. And I don't even know if I can call them our neighborhoods anymore. You know, but, you know. You know. Hey man, this has just been my thoughts, man. So y'all take it or leave it. But I'm gone, man. Hope it got through to somebody.